to be a revolutionary leader, you really have to come back in and understand yourself more clearly. And so self-awareness is about having a clear perception of your personality. And this includes all of your strengths. So what are you really strong at? Your weaknesses, and it's not that you're weak, but it's just that these are areas you need to develop further in yourself. It's to look at your thoughts and, what is your natural and your gut reaction to situations. Just check your thinking and also check your language, the language you use. How often do we say, oh, I can't do that, instinctively, whereas we need to take a breath, look at our thoughts, and then think, I'd like to try it. That's at least is a very different approach, okay? So to focus on what you can do, not get stuck in what you instinctively think you can't. So focus on our thoughts. When we talk about beliefs and values here, when you go into some major organizations, you hear about the core values and you hear about the vision and you know what the mission statement is. The important thing to notice about values in particular is we all have our own core values, and they really are the foundation and the essence of who we are. And when we then, as employees, look at the core values, the stated core values of an organization, if those values are not embodied by everybody in the organization, you're going to feel a mismatch. We say this in paper, it's a statement, we've made it known to our stakeholders, all of the stakeholders, but they're not embodied in the behaviors of the employees. So your values are compromised. Now, there is another issue here. So for you as a leader, if you are very, very strong and you know your values very, very well, you will actually look to understand the values of the organization before you go to join it. So you want to be aligned. If at any time your values don't fit with the values of the organization, you're not going to feel as if you're going to feel rather as if you don't belong. And then you have a choice to make. You either choose to stay with the organization and to absorb their values, or you choose to leave and to live by your values. And this is a question for yourself. So a little bit of inner work is required here for you to be the best version of your natural self. It comes down to your values. Then it's about your motivation. How motivated are you? Are you self-motivated? Do you need others to motivate you, etc.? And then if you're motivated, you can motivate your employees. And the other situation, very, very high on everybody's agenda, I think in the recent past, is our emotions. How quickly, how likely are we to actually have a knee-jerk reaction to something? So how likely are we to speak a little bit maybe too strongly to our colleagues or to our employees? So we need to really keep ourselves in check, okay? And so self-awareness really allows you to understand other people. If you can check and analyze yourself, you can then actually understand other people and understand how they perceive you and your attitude and your responses to them as well, okay? So it's where you can read people, but you've got to read yourself as well. So are we comfortable? Has anybody any questions in relation to this? Milry, yeah?
Yes, Charley, I wanted to see if you could say something about the occasional conflict that happens between mission and culture. You find a person who wants to be a revolutionary leader and is totally bought in and passionate about the mission, but the culture of the organization is lacking, or the culture is anti-revolutionary. And so, I know some of this is built into motivation and emotions, but I just wonder how a person who is totally committed to the mission can reconcile that sort of dissonance between mission and culture.
Yeah, it's a great question, Milry. It comes back to the core values. So if you have a mission statement and it's published and everybody knows what it is, in terms of the culture of an organization is all about, this is the way we do things here, okay? So it's how people behave. Those behaviors ideally should be reflective of the core values, where we treat our customers with respect, we treat each other with respect, we're going to operate with integrity, with credibility, with honesty, we're going to, utilize and deliver fantastic service, we're going to embrace state-of-the-art technology, etc. So whatever your values, stated values are, they need to be embodied by the people. And this is where it's also aligned with employee engagement. Mm-hmm. So the culture, if the culture is not reflective of the stated mission, you need to go back to and look at your employee engagement. Mm-hmm. And engagement is way, way more than employee satisfaction. Mm-hmm. So it is, do they love getting out of bed and going to work every day? Do they feel that they are seen and heard and valued? If not, you're never going to motivate them. Mm-hmm. So it's back to leading your people. And one of the key things for a revolutionary leader to understand is you don't manage people. You manage systems, solutions, situations. You lead people. And so this is where the revolutionary leader might be kind of swimming against the tide almost, if there is let's say a prolonged culture or practice of telling people what to do. Mm-hmm. No adult likes to be told what to do. And everybody has a fantastic thought process. But if you kill that initiative, you're going to get just, a very demotivated, disengaged workforce who are not going to really row in when times get tough. So for revolutionary leaders in that situation, look to themselves and then start assessing their employees. Look at how engaged they are. And if you feel that they're not engaged, then the revolutionary leader needs to have that kind of a coaching conversation with them, where it's questioning and how do you feel and what do you think, and can you tell me why you think this, or what is the cause of your tardiness or your poor performance or something. And the whole point of the coaching questions is to get your employees to start thinking for themselves and to think, oh, actually, I haven't really thought about it. I'm just doing the same old thing every day because blah. Mm-hmm. So to close that gap, Milry, to answer your question, they really need to focus in on their people, and they need to take the time to have the one-on-one conversations, and they need to look at employee engagement.